Either the people ask you if you have a real job.
Yeah,
or
like when are you getting your real job? Or
no, oh my god.
No, you don't get that.
I used to get that when I was studying. So you're gonna like go diving every day. My friends even, I had friends who thought, hello if you're watching. I think I still have friends who think that I'm diving with dolphins the whole day. And that's,
aren't you? Hi guys, it's me, Kat from My Vegan Experiment, with Maria here from C&Me, and I'm very excited to introduce you to her. She's a marine biologist, and if you haven't checked out her channel, you should. Today we wanted to do a video comparing and contrasting scuba diving instructors and marine biologists.
Like it if you like it.
So to get started, we thought we'd address some of the most basic and most frequently asked questions we kind of get. And to start off with, what qualifications do we need to get to where we are today?
Yeah.
So as a marine biologist, what do you need?
So usually as a marine biologist, well, obviously you have to graduate from high school, and then you usually go on a bachelor or a graduate program on biology, or you can go directly to marine biology, but that's not necessary. You can start just with biology, which was actually my case. And then usually you will have to do a PhD. And whether or not you do a master's in between usually depends on the options you have and the universities, what the universities offer. Sometimes you can have programs that allow you to go directly from your bachelor to a PhD. If you want to work in academia, so if you want to work as a scientist, as a marine biologist, you have to do a PhD. There's really no way around it. And then you will just continue on with postdoctoral grants and scholarships until you find a permanent position as a professor at a university. There's also, marine biology jobs outside academia, but usually when we talk about marine biology, we think about scientists in academia, so would then be a total other thing. Dive. How does it work?
To be a diving instructor, you don't need to finish high school. What you do need is to be minimum 18 years old and have completed the following courses. So if you're doing the PADI system, which is what I'm familiar with, you have to get your open water diver, your advanced open water diver, your rescue diver, along with that your first aid certification, then your dive master, which is your first level of professional diving, and then eventually your scuba diving instructor, your open water instructor course. I think it takes a little less time and effort to be a diving instructor. Costs is another thing. So if you're looking at this from a financial perspective, how much did it cost you, or would it cost people to get
to the point where it really varies between where you study? So it depends on, you have to go to university, and it will depend on how much going to university costs in your country, or how much the university or the place you want to attend costs. So for me, in Portugal, it was around 1,000 euros per year to study for my bachelor. No, I'm sorry, actually that's not true. It was 800 euros for my bachelor per year and 1,000 for my master's degree. And as a PhD student here in Austria, I have a contract, so I'm actually getting paid for that. So, and when you work as a PhD, you have a grant, or the PI, so the principal investigator of your project, pays you to be part of the project. And so that's in the stage I am now. I'm finishing my PhD, so I'm getting paid. So I would say it depends on where you study, basically.
Studying in Australia was definitely a lot more expensive. International student, that was I think about $14,000 a semester, so about $28,000 a year. And the US is a lot more, so
good luck. And in Austria it's for free.
Yeah, a lot of Europe is for free.
Yeah, I think Scandinavia too, right?
And
Switzerland?
I think Scotland.
I know the UK is not.
No,
I think also not. It's pretty.
But it's not too much. It's not too much. Yeah, America is really the killer. For a diving instructor, you have to pay for all your courses, which of course also varies where you decide to do them. However, for example, in Australia, your starting course would be around the $500 mark. You could probably get it for cheaper, around $200 in Thailand. However, you really want to be gauging quality versus like how many people are in your course, who your instructor is, how many people do they certify. Because if you want to be a diving instructor, you really need to have the best possible diving education to be able to then take care of people.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Then advanced course as well, it's 5 dives, so it's about $500. Rescue course is a little bit less because you have fewer ocean dives, so about $400. Your dive master is more intensive, and there are internship opportunities which you can do where you don't get paid, but for example, you can work anywhere between 1 month and 6 months and get the whole thing free.
I had friends who did that.
Yeah, yeah. Or you pay. I paid about $1,000, I think, and then got all of that sorted. The instructor course, that's the really fun part, where it's about $3,500 to do the instructor course. It's about $800 to do the instructor exam, and if you fail any part of it, you have to repay the whole $800.
All of it.
Basically, I think it might be broken up a little bit, but I know if you fail, you have to pay. It's a 3-day.
So that's a lot. That's actually quite some investment.
Yeah, it's a 3-day exam. I was very grateful. My parents helped me fund this particular life dream of mine.
Cool.
And of course, that doesn't include your EFR instructor, which is your emergency first response instructor, which is another about $1,500.
And that comes after the diving instructor?
You kind of do it combined. So in total, I think when I did it, I paid about 4,000 Australian dollars for the whole thing. But within 8 months of me doing it, this was in 2013, it was already $5,000. So it is picking up every single year. So just like with everything, it's getting up there. Another question I get asked a lot is, how long am I going to keep teaching diving, or is this a career? Is this a long-term kind of thing? So what are your thoughts in terms of the job or the career aspect of your opportunities, where you can go in?
So if I were to stay in science, which I might, it's not for sure, but I might say, after I finish my PhD, I will probably have to go to another lab, so to probably even another country, because there are not many marine biology labs in Vienna, to do a postdoc. Surprise.
Where's the ocean?
Yes. So it's a postdoctoral job, let's say, which is and usually it's like these grants are between 2 to 3 years. So after you finish your PhD, you either apply for a postdoc position in another lab which is already open, or you can also try to get your own grant once you finish your PhD. You write your project, because once you have a PhD, you can already have your own project funded. So it's easier to get funding for your own project, and then you are the main principal investigator of this project. And then you have to write it, and then you submit it to a funding agency, and you either get it accepted for funding or not. And if you get it accepted, then you can start working. And usually you, obviously, when you write the project, you have already a lab with whom you are partnering with, and then you go to this place to study. And it involves a lot of going around, because usually these grants are between, again, 2 to 3 years. So after these 2 to 3 years, your funding is over, and before your funding is over, because you don't want to spend too much time without getting any money, you already need to start writing a new grant or applying to a new job. And so this is going on until you manage to get a permanent position somewhere. And it might take long, or it might not take long. And this highly depends on how good you are, how lucky you are, where you want to go. It depends on a lot of factors. So it's a very unstable career. So you'd never know in 5 years from now where you will be, unless you already have a permanent position.
I think that goes for almost all sciences.
All sciences.
It's writing grants to get your next funding project, and the cycle continues
forever. It doesn't stop. Yes.
Yeah.
For diving.
In terms of diving, I know a lot of people who have done it for 10, 15 years. However, something I want you guys to realize, it is very hard on your body. So even if you're fit and young, diving every single day or diving majority of the year does exhaust your body. We don't know the full effects it has, especially if you're doing 2, 3, 4 dives a day. Long-term effects, we have not that many scientific studies conducted to kind of know what's going to happen. But people do get very tired and sick of it, but there are opportunities to, you know, become managers, to handle like the whole managerial aspect of like hotels, resorts. I have friends who have transitioned into more skipper positions, so being boat captains, being in charge of like all the diving, sea activities and things like that at on islands, for example. So there are opportunities to grow. It is more. It's all good.
And I guess you meet a lot of people, no?
You do.
Connections and stuff.
Yeah, so you meet a lot of people, you can make great connections. I have a friend right now who's working with National Geographic, and he's the dive operator for there, and he started as a commercial diver and then continued as a diving instructor, service technician. So there are many different avenues you can get into if you like stop diving every single day. But in terms of diving every day and just being a diving instructor, I think a lot of people get quite exhausted from it. So, but there are many things you can do, from technical diving to, I don't know, working in PADI, or some of the other big certification agencies.
Do you know a lot of people that have been diving instructors for their whole life, like until they retired? Do you know, like
I know my instructors who taught me my instructor course, Angela and Pierre de Villiers. They're absolutely incredible, and they've been diving, I want to say, for 20, 30 years. I know Angela just celebrated a really big milestone in terms of that, and she's got thousands of students. And to this day, she's a course director in PADI, so she kind of oversees teaching of instructors now.
Cool.
So, and she's one of the best teachers I've ever encountered. There are people who've kept at it because it's their passion, but I think a lot of people also kind of have side things. For a lot of people, diving instructing eventually becomes their side job or their part-time job to kind of go along with whatever their real job is.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of this real job, I don't know if you get the question. You probably don't, because it's more real jobby than mine, but
The people ask you if you have a real job.
Yeah, like when are you getting your real job? Or
no, oh my god.
No, you don't get that.
I used to get that when I was studying. So you're gonna like go diving every day. My friends even, I had friends who thought, hello if you're watching. I think I still have friends who think that I'm diving with dolphins the whole day. And that's,
aren't you?
Unfortunately not.
Newsflash.
No,
Marine
she is,
Biologist.
I'm not. So that's not what I do. I wish it was.
So
sometimes.
What do you do? What is your typical day then?
Okay, so my job has, I will divide it into 3 parts. So there's the sample collection, there's lab analysis, and there's desk time. And in the desk,
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if I'm going to keep this as one video because I think it's 24 minutes long. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to write it down below. Both me and Maria will be checking them out, answering any questions. If you have any more things you'd like to know about the differences, we will probably be answering some of those on her channel. So go on over there and check it out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye. See you.
Pull apart the pieces and get on with the show.